She said awareness is the first step to transformation. So the Old Testament is our physical and our intellectual intelligence, and the New Testament is our emotional and our spiritual intelligence showing up in our life. Cindy says that spiritual intelligence is the capacity to act out of love, and she defines love as a bird with two wings, and the wings are compassion and wisdom. So that's the picture. So love is a bird with two wings, and that's compassion and wisdom. So spiritual intelligence is the ability to behave with wisdom and compassion while maintaining inner and outer peace, equanimity, regardless of the situation you are in. That's how our spiritual intelligence begins to show up and develop. She defines spirituality as an innate need to connect to something larger than ourselves, something you feel is divine or sacred or important. So, spiritual wisdom is the ability to act out of love, and acting out of love is acting out of compassion and wisdom. And we cannot act out of compassion and wisdom until we experience it ourselves. Until we experience a sense of compassion for ourselves and within ourselves. And once we do that, once we move into the language of emotional feelings and dynamics, we're able to show up in that way. And so we connect with the divine, we act with love regardless, and when we do that, we are living a spiritual life, and we are following in Jesus' footsteps. We are walking the walk of the Master, because that's what he did. Did he not live out of compassion and love? On the cross. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Is that not love and wisdom? Is that not compassion? To be able to do that, to act out of that space. And in order to do that, we have to understand who we are and what our nature and dynamics are. He said that when we live in that way, we begin to love our neighbor, and we understand what that means. We begin to do unto others as we would have them do unto us, and know what that's about. We begin to resist not evil. So we allow the negative thoughts, feelings to show up so we can deal with them, so we can understand them and look at them and transform them with compassion and wisdom. We become energy transformers instead of energy transporters. We become energy transformers when we do that instead of energy transformers. We don't bounce the energy back at somebody that they throw at us. Rather, we accept it, we transform it, and we send it back with compassion and love. And what happens when we do that is we create a very powerful experience for ourselves. I had an experience. I was dealing with this 82-year-old lady, and she wanted to look at some places, and so I took her out to look at some places, and I was working with her. I thought I was doing a great job with her. And her daughter, and I get a phone call from her daughter, and I pick up the phone, and her daughter said, "You're doing a terrible job with my mother." That's the first thing that came out of her mouth. "You're doing a terrible job with my mother." Now, the first thing I wanted to do was defend myself, defend my honor, because I thought I was doing a great job, right? So I stepped back a moment, and I said, well, no one or nothing is against me. And if it's not against me, it's for me. And if it's for me, then there's something here for me. That's the kind of the dialogue that went into my head. And so there's some feelings that are going on here. And so I went into curiosity. And so I asked her a question. I said, I see that you have a lot of energy about this. You must love your mother very much to feel the way you feel. And I don't always do that, but I did it that time, and you do it once and you do it again, right? So you must love your mother very much to feel the way you feel. And everything shifted. Because the energy got transformed in that moment. Instead of defending myself, coming back and saying, well, wait a minute, I did this and I did that and I did this and you shouldn't feel this way and da-da-da-da. That's what I wanted to do. Because I'm not quite there yet. It isn't as instinctual as I'd like it to be. I have to think about it. And that's what our intellect helps us do, is to think about it for a moment and make the shift and experience the emotions and then respond in a way that is appropriate. So if we put a pause in between our experiencing and our responding, it's within that pause that we can make the shift to becoming an energy transformer. And we can create something powerful if we wish to. I want to close with my poem today, which is called The Source of My Strength. To be courageous takes strength, not so much in my muscles as in my heart and mind, because that is where God is. God is the source of my strength, giving me courage, giving me compassion, giving me wisdom. Do I have the courage to make the journey, to feel things with passion, to understand my feelings and to be in the question? Jesus had the courage to empathize with everyone, to feel their pain, to accept them as God's beloved. He didn't have the science, he had the heart. He understood his goodness, he saw it in everyone, even the Romans. What are you feeling? Can you identify your emotions? They are there, wanting attention, even if you deny them. They will transform your life, give you depth and substance, and lead you to the divine, to the practice of compassion and wisdom. Beloved, you are my child in whom I am well pleased, says the divine to those who feel. For in your feelings lies the pearl of great price. It is yours right now. Just feel it. God bless you.